The following is a special presentation of KDOW. Money Pulse. Monitoring the heartbeat of money. From Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. Now here's your host, Dynasti Young.
Welcome back to the Money Pulse. This is Dynasti Young, your host. I'm very excited to be introducing a very special guest today in the studio. I have attorney Scott Herndon here joining us from San Francisco. Welcome in. Scott, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So let's just start now. So you started in a classroom setting for your career. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was a professor faculty member at Stanford University.
Stanford. I love Stanford. What a great career. So you're an attorney now, personal injury. How the heck do you go from professor of literature and philosophy to attorney at law?
Well, I taught for about a decade at Stanford and some other universities, and it's kind of, a long story, but as a lecturer at Stanford, I kind of had to make a decision as to whether I wanted to teach the same books about social equity and personal and private rights, or if I wanted to go out into the world and help people individually, one-on-one. And so that's why I made the decision.
So what in your personal life really guided you with that decision? Was there anything that really struck you in your personal world that said, this is what I want to do, I want to help people?
I think over the years, watching the experiences of college kids and young graduates in the workforce made me really attuned to the power differences that can happen to the younger generation. And so I really wanted to help survivors of sexual assault.
Okay.
I saw that a lot in college and with the alumni. And that kind of led me on my journey to doing that every day in my practice.
So that is what became your passion, to help resolve those terrible crimes and issues and be there for those victims. Yeah,
I'm a personal injury lawyer as well, and I really pride myself on the cases that I handle in that arena. But when it comes to a disenfranchised person who doesn't know how to protect herself, I feel like every part of my soul is active, and I'm complete as a person when I take on those cases. It's very rewarding.
Absolutely. Well, that I didn't know about you yet. Thank you so much for sharing. That is just wonderful, and not everybody is driven by something so special, and just thank you for being there for women in our community and people in our community that really do need help. Got lots to talk to you about later about some things that I've, have questions about. Okay, so philosophy, I'm kind of feeling this now that you speak more, but philosophy and law aren't two words that most people will put together, but you have built your practice around that. And is that kind of what you're talking about, your aspiration to help those in need, specifically in those sexual assault cases?
In general, yeah, I think the practice of philosophy really helps in being a lawyer and in life, in that it asks us to think fundamentally about problems that we face. Of all the academic disciplines, it's the one that tries to cut through all of the noise and get down to the basic assumptions that are guiding the way that we live and behave. And to me, that's the real asset of the study of philosophy.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Scott. If you're just joining us now on the Money Pulse, I'm here with Scott Herndon, attorney at law in San Francisco, and he serves the Greater Bay Area as well. You can visit him at scottherndonlaw.com. That's Scott Herndon, Herndon, law.com. Or call him on his cell phone at 415-360-5477. Again, 415-360-5477. Thanks so much for sharing all these things with us, Scott. You're inspirational, and you've got such a great story. So I'd like to dig a little deeper into your story. So did you build a law firm in Berkeley?
I did.
What? Tell me about that.
I had to make a decision whether to work for a large defense firm or do what I really cared about. And all of my impulses from teaching and writing over the years just led me to hanging my own shingle and trying to make it work on my own.
How did that look for you? I mean, how were you out of college for a while by this time? How were you established already? And how much did it take? How much dedication and work and building did it take to build a law firm of your own?
It was, like all small business owners, it was frightening and anxiety producing. I had done as much work as I could at every job that I'd had to learn the ins and outs. I almost felt like, I had two jobs at once. One was learning how to succeed in my job, and the next was learning how to start my own business at the same time. And
that's two jobs altogether there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the pathway to independence, I think, for all small businesses. Someone has to train you. So that was my path. I learned how to defend some of the largest corporations in the world. And from what I learned how to defend some of the most powerless people in the world. And it took me a year, but slowly things started to come together. And the things I learned from teaching and dealing with students really helped me with my clients and with opposing counsel.
Yeah. So you seem very compassionate and empathetic. So that must really play a big role in your role.
It's a huge role, especially for lawyers, and I think for many business people. We have an image of the cutthroat type,
right,
the warrior, the bulldog,
right,
and I take a completely different approach. I believe that treating people with kindness and facts and, frankly, philosophy makes you far more effective in all of those arenas, as long as you know what your path is and what the best way to get there is.
Wow, Scott Herndon, philosophy again. I love that you do incorporate that, and that's true. You incorporate that in your business and in your conversation. So thank you. It's really inspiring. You said you worked with very powerful, you defended powerful companies, and you've also defended the powerless. So I'd like to start with the powerful first. Do you have a victory that you can kind of put a note on and say, this was my first big win? That you can remember, or can you explain your experience with that and what that felt like for you as an attorney in this space?
I could do two.
Okay.
When we had an incredible defense victory on behalf of a Fortune 100 company, I was incredibly satisfied, and we'd worked so hard. We'd gone through hundreds of thousands of documents, and at the end of that case, the response was, well, we have 10 more coming.
Woohoo!
Not even a thank you.
That sounds about right.
When I successfully represented a client who'd been sexually assaulted by one of the most famous people in the United States, that person broke down crying and told me that I'd changed her life and given her the ability to find therapy and have a shot at happiness.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do.
It's so important for victims like that to have their voice be heard and really know that their voice has been heard. And that sounds like what you did for that individual.
Yeah, it's I think a fundamentally Christian doctrine.
Yeah.
And you can be Christian and defend giant companies, and you can be Christian and defend individual people. We all share the same goal, I think, which is justice as fairness. And fairness shows up in all aspects of our culture. So it's too easy to paint the portrait that a defense attorney is a bad person and a plaintiff's attorney is a great person. They're everywhere. And you think your heart just has to be open to understanding that we're all trying to get to the same place.
Right. Serving justice is your job, and it's not something that's subjective, really. It is what it is. It's black and white. If you're just tuning in, again, I'm here with attorney Scott Herndon. He's a personal injury attorney, but also a wonderful man. And, you don't have to say that you're a Christian when you talk the way this man does. And it's very respectable. And you don't find that a lot in especially big cities like San Francisco, the Bay Area. So just again, thank you for your service. And you're rocking it out. And I hope a lot of people reach out to you if you do have any questions or need a consultation with someone who has some moral values, but still will have your back and will give you full transparency on what's going on with your situation. Visit ScottHerndonLaw.com. law.com. That's Scott Herndon, Herndon, law.com. Or you can call him directly on his cell phone at 415-360-5477. Wow. So beautiful stories. I mean, thank you so much for sharing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for sharing with us. Scott Herndon here in the studio, amazing attorney, personal injury attorney in San Francisco and the Greater Bay Area. Once again, if you need to reach him, 415-360-5477. That's his cell phone. He's happy to speak with anyone, especially on our station here at KDOW, with any needs that you may have specific to his practice. And you can also learn more at scottherndonlaw.com. So, Scott, I feel like you're a giver, and I feel like you probably do a lot of community and advocacy type things. Can you tell us a little bit about some things that you've done for your community in your neighborhood?
Yeah, aside from coaching Little League and being involved in youth sports.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How long have you been teaching Little League coaching?
Basically, my son's whole life, we've been playing baseball, teaching tennis at the local tennis courts at the public park.
Fun.
Yeah, great. But I feel like every day my job is a community service.
Absolutely.
That keeps me alive, really. The one person at a time has always been my approach. And so I wish I could say that I've done these grand things for large groups of people, but really when I wake up at 6 a.m, I'm focused on the few people that I represent, and I try to live a very quiet life that way. I'm always struck by the humanitarians that are, never recognized and never want any recognition. Mm-hmm. I kind of like to be that person.
That's beautiful. That's a big person. I'm going to pause you there, Scott. We're going to go for a commercial break, and we're going to continue to talk about some fun stories, some personal stuff, and how you participate in your community. Little League. I love Little League. My kids are aged out of Little League now, but make sure to tune back in with us here at the Money Pulse. We'll see you soon.
Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. You're listening to Money Pulse on AM 1220 KDOW.
All right, welcome back to the Money Pulse. This is your host, Dynasti Young. I'm sitting here with attorney Scott Herndon of San Francisco. We're having some fun right now. We're talking a little bit about Little League and tennis coaching. This man is a down-to-earth gentleman, but also a very, very well-respected defense attorney. Very impressed with this man so far, and we want to hear more. So, Scott, we talked about Little League and coaching tennis and being, obviously, you're very humble about everything that you do, which is not something, you guys, that I usually see in an attorney. I mean, I know a lot of attorneys that don't have that behavior or even that vibe, so to speak. They are very different. What is it about you, Scott, that makes you so different than all these other guys that I know?
Well, I'm a fisherman at heart. I fish in Alaska 6 or 7 times a year.
Oh my gosh, I love fishing.
Don't you?
Yes.
What I love about it is the better you get at fishing, the more you understand that there are things that are out of your control, and that you're incredibly lucky when a fish decides to bite. And I think that my feeling as a lawyer is my humility stems from the point of view that I can't change the facts, and I'm only as good as the work that I put into my cases, and that the more humble you are as an attorney, the better and more effective you are, because you tend to work harder to develop your case, and you don't gloss it over with big voices and big arguments and try to hide facts. When you can look them in the eye and work with them, you can really make a difference that way through humility.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. All right. For all you attorneys out there, take notes. Just kidding. We have some great listeners as well that are attorneys here. And gosh, Scott, you were just very impressive. Okay. So we talked about your community participation. Have you ever done any like pro bono work or any, I don't know, volunteer clinics or any kind of community service that's directly correlated with your law practice?
I have. Over the years, I've probably developed 40 or 50 cases for people at no cost, hiring experts, analyzing the entirety of their case, and doing the hard work of giving an honest opinion about what might happen down the road, and basically trying not to sugarcoat anything, but helping my clients, or even though we never even had cases, helping them get therapy and therapeutic options. I think those are the cases that I'm most proud of, really.
Beautiful. And going the extra mile, it sounds like really caring about their aftercare, so to speak, of the trauma that they're going through within the courtroom.
Mm-hmm. Because the question of whether or not someone was hurt is different from whether or not the basket of laws that we have can actually help them. There are times when the laws we have just don't address the complexities of, our humanity. And at the end of the day, you're a person and a man, and you're not just a lawyer. So you try to be the best person you can be.
Yep. And that's Scott Herndon, attorney at law, you guys. I'm just loving this man. So we see a lot of change going on, especially Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Bay Area. We've got technology galore all around. We've got AI changing a lot of the industries, and new regulations. I know the court systems have changed over a while ago to like e-filing. Like there's no more old school filing like we used to see it even a decade ago. What else do you see? What big changes do you see coming, or have you been seeing within your industry regarding technology and just shifts in that direction?
Well, if you were a bookkeeper in 1860 and you had an enormous room of people filling in ledgers, and someone said, we have Excel, you would probably pretty quickly recognize that those bookkeepers would disappear within a matter of months after people learned how to use Excel. And that's happening in the law and many other businesses where technology is basically eliminating entry-level positions. And so the pyramid is much sharper. And but I would say that hopefully, and looking ahead, the one thing that doesn't change is our ability to deal with human beings and facts in the world. And no computer program will ever do that, I don't think. And so my advice to young attorneys and young men and women entering the workforce is to focus outside of the screen and on the people that you want to help. And there will always be good work for you to do. So things are changing, but when you talk about helping another person, that's a human thing that no AI will ever replace that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can only program them to do so much, but they can't really feel or see or empathize with anything. So that's a good point. And thank you for sharing that for the young folks that are stepping into this world right now. So AI, do you see AI being used at all in the court systems, any other ways to help improve efficiency or anything like that? Because I haven't really been stepping into a courtroom as of recently. Just curious.
It's AI is already everywhere.
Yeah.
The best practitioners of it know how to double check its work.
Right.
And they already know how to use it very well. But there's a paradox. The people that most need AI are the people who don't know how to double check it the right way. And so it's an incredible tool for people who are masters of their craft. And imagine Frank Gehry with an AI program and all of his CAD systems and what he could do versus someone who's never been an architect before. So it's there and it's being used. But again, the members of a jury, the individual people who need help, it's a human touch that is exactly what's needed and will be that forever, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally. I mean, I always ask all my guests, how are you using AI? And it's just always interesting because, Yeah, remember, people, if you are using AI, it's great to polish up something, maybe gather your notes in one space, but you always need to double check that stuff. It's not gold. It is something that is possibly incorrect and invalid and false completely. So, make sure you're all being aware of what you're doing with AI and what you're using it for. Again, here with Scott Herndon, attorney at law in San Francisco and the Greater Bay Area. You can visit his website at scottherndonlaw.com or call him directly, 415-360-5477. So we've learned that you fish 6 to 7 times in Alaska per year. I'm so jealous. I love ocean fishing. I've never done Alaskan fishing. What else do you do for fun? Little League, tennis, fishing. Is there any other passions of yours that you have or something that you like to enjoy to do?
I love writing. I still love the practice of writing. Really, I love having a simple life. I love hard work. I love exercising, and the feeling at the end of the day that you're exhausted. I mean, my family is a blue collar family, and watching my grandfather and my dad after work just beat is a joy that I have as I get older myself. Yeah, that I just kick my legs up and say, it's 8:00. That was a great day. I'm relaxed and ready for bed.
Oh, yeah. Just crashing out hard after a long day of work, mentally and physically as well.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you again, Scott, for joining us today here. It's been such a pleasure. It took some turns I wasn't expecting. I'm pleasantly surprised to learn all about you. And I really encourage my listeners to reach out, check him out. I mean, if you have anything that you're curious about, you need consultation on a personal injury or multiple of facets of other law, you could go ahead and take a look at his website and see what he can help you with. And also you could give him a call and just ask him the question. Scott Herndon, that's HERNDON law.com, scottherndonlaw.com, or call him directly at 415-360-5477. What a wonderful man. Geez, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Scott Herndon, attorney at law, thank you once again.
Thank you.
We hope to see you soon.
This has been Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet.